dearth of arts. So I talked about it once, and then all these people started coming out of the woodwork like, oh, I did that in high school, or I did that professionally for 25 years, or I am a teaching artist, or I use that all the time in what I do. And just attracting the people that are kind of like me just by letting people know who I am, even in the littlest ways, which is part of how personal branding develops organically when you just are yourself in all of the ways at all the times. And so Bobby and I have been connected for a very long time. He was definitely one of the first people that I connected to outside of people I'd really worked with directly before. And when we connected, it was this instant, oh, I get it. I get everything about your life. Even though I don't have a wife and children or, a multicultural background, I'm a, New York Jew now living in Texas, so now I do. But at the time, it was the things that we share in our values. Value for the arts, value for creativity, value for humor. We're both huggers. And you can tell that about Bobby when you watch his videos. And when you see him in person, you know, oh, this is a person I can run up to and hug. And I hope that people know that about me too, from who I am online. Certainly I think that Yash, who I've also known for a long time on LinkedIn, knew that about me when I first met you today. And it's interesting now, I'm traveling a lot, meeting people all over the country, all over the world, and when I meet them, whether it's for the first time or after seeing me for a year posting content and comments and being myself on LinkedIn, there is an experience that's consistent, that's reflected back to me in the things that people say, the comments that they make, the things that they say to each other afterwards. Oh, Lila was so, whatever that is. So I just met Katrina for the first time, for example, and you had never heard of me before. I was just some girl in a blue dress, right? So you came up to me and hi, I'm Katrina. I said, I'm Lila, I'm one of the speakers. And from our brief interaction out there in the holding area, would you please articulate to me what your experience is of me thus far?
Great communicator, obviously. Friendly, warm energy, personable, enthusiastic. You seem like a connector. Are you looking for more?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
And that's what most people say. So how many minutes do you think we've spent talking so far? 1.5 to 5?
Yeah, definitely.
Sometime in that. I don't
under
have a
5
great,
for sure.
Yeah, under 5 minutes. So in under 5 minutes in person, she has the experience of me that everybody I know has ever articulated back to me about myself. People have said, Lila, you're a great connector. You're always the one that I go to if I need to know somebody. Who just said that outside? You did. You were saying to Katrina, you said, I know her through Finn, I know her through.
Kind of made me take the leap of just asking for sponsors to attend this event, and because of you, I actually did it, and that's because you communicated so well.
What did I say to you that was so effective? I just want to know how I got someone to write a post asking for help.
I think, I'm not sure exactly what words you used, but I think you just said something along the lines of write your story, share your post, and then I will support you. And that support factor really came in, where I already knew I had a support system, so because of that, I got more confidence, I guess, to share that.
I love that. I love knowing how I made you feel with my communication. It's not important what I said. The words are not important.
Exactly.
What's important is what you took away from it, which was the result that drove you to action. Whether that's, in your company, maybe that's something that drives a customer to convert. I got you to convert, and now here you are, right? Same with Julian, I think. Why did you buy a ticket to come here?
Well, it was sort of a serendipity of a few things. Originally, you had said, hey, I'm going to be in town, and we were connected to a few fellow content creators. At that point, my Thursday was booked, and then by a complete coincidence, somebody else said, hey, would you like to have, can we invite somebody else to your engagement pod? And it happened to be Bobby. And at that point, I decided that, okay, there's too many coincidences here. I think the universe is telling me that I have to come to this event, so I changed my schedule and came to see you guys.
I love it. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure.
But you had to be driven, the universe is sending you those messages, right? There's that collective wisdom. Whether it's something telling you that you see it once, you have to recognize that there's the same thing again. whether it's the event. It could have been an event about tractor pulls. Would you have gone?
Because of the people, yes.
Okay, so tell me more about that. Tell me more about the people. What was it about me and Bobby doing this thing that you said, I gotta go be there with those people?
So one of the things that I was not so involved on LinkedIn up until about April. And all of a sudden, I started to recognize it as not just a job site anymore. It's become this growth platform. And there's people like yourself, people like Bobby, a whole bunch of other content creators that we're in contact with, Marco Dante, Fraser Cameron, the list could go on, of people who are, I think, for me the big thing is that we're moving past this sort of superficial presentation of self that social media used to be, that we see on Facebook, and people, not just presenting that perfectly beautiful, always smiling image, people willing to be vulnerable, people willing to help people. So I think that was the thing, is I had the show, which was to help people, and you guys had the same mission and goal, and so it's really just to spend time with more positive people who have a similar role and mission.
I love that. So those are our shared values.
Right.
And here we are at a Verb Your Values workshop. This is something that came from the 5th step of my intentional communication method, Say Things Better, which happened because there were always times that I would advise people on their communication strategy. Oh, here's how you can work your way into that. Here's how you get that yes. Here's how you effectively communicate this idea. And it was just, free advice for a very long time until people started paying me for it, which was awesome, because I love doing this. My family called me an opinionista for a very long time, because it's a nicer way of saying know-it-all, but it's a way of saying it that's in honor of the fact that my opinions are usually helpful, that I don't just, force myself and my instructions onto somebody, but that I'm there to help. So the fact that you get that from our online interaction, and that you get that from our 5-minute interaction, and that you get that from our, long-time connection, it's this consistency of expression of values. My values, if I express them in verb form, are to connect, to affirm, and to empower. If there's anybody who at the end of the day doesn't feel that we've connected, or that I've affirmed something about you, even if it's just the fact that you came here today and took that step in your own growth, which I've now done, so check, and empowering you with the strategies that I have here today, then please message me and we can have more time for me to do that, because those things are really important to me to do. Those are my values. And I express them in verb form because I'm always going to be interacting with somebody. That's natural to me. I'm always going to talk to the person next to me on the plane. And if you look at my LinkedIn recommendations, there's one like 2 ago that is from a guy I talked to on a plane. And I will talk to people in the lobby, and I'll talk to people in the grocery store. And at all times, I want to be very clear about what my values are. Not just so that they know something about me, but because I want to be accountable to myself, so that I know I've always done everything that I can do to get through to somebody in the way that means something to me. I'm not going to be able to be somebody else. I'm not going to be able to have someone else's success. I'm not going to be, the kind of presenter like Tony Robbins, or now he's going by Anthony Robbins. So someone explain that to me at some point. But he's different. And people ask me like, well, how are you different than Tony Robbins if what you're doing is empowering people? And I said, well, I actually have like things you can do. It's not just about, woo, rah-rah, you can do it, just walk across this fire. My steps are much safer for the bottoms of your feet, and safer for your communication partners, and safer for the integrity of your personal brand, which is an expression of your values. Bobby talks about it as a promise that you make. You've said that a lot of times. I love that you say that so much, and I actually did a video yesterday in the afternoon about my promise to myself and to all of my communication partners. How I will show up is in communicative action of what my values are. And anytime I talk to you, you will see that I'm going to connect and to affirm and to empower with whatever it is that I have that can help you. So I feel like I'm very far away. I'm just gonna come a little closer. I'm Lila.
I'm Mira.
Nice to meet you, Mira. Tell me in verb form what you want to do to people with your values. To blank, to blank, to blank.
To inspire, to connect, and to feel safe.
Oh, I love that. So to feel safe, do you want to feel safe or you want them to feel safe?
I want them to feel safe.
So maybe to protect?
Sure.
Okay, so that's, in theater, we want things that are playable to the other person. I come from, we all talked about our theater backgrounds, but I was a professional actress in New York and around the United States for 10 years. I'm a member of Actors Equity Association, a membership that I will pay for until the day that I die because it was so hard to get. And that has given me these tools. In a scene, two actors are communicating with each other with these words that somebody else gave them. But the words are secondary. You could say almost anything. Is anybody here who's done improv training? But a long time ago, did you ever do the gibberish game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like you talk to each other in like,
Weird,
we do
like
like,
baby talk or any kind of weird words.
yeah, or
make
words
up
that don't mean anything. So
Like
let's
an
I know. So it's exactly that. We just had an exchange here that bonded the three of us, and it didn't matter what the words were, because maybe our verbs were to entertain, to amuse, and to connect. So it just happened, and that was those verbs in action. What we did with each other just now. The words don't matter. And one of the reasons why I give people verbs or give companies verbs to work through is that they're very easy to remember. And anything that you do, you can do scanning it past these verbs. And it's so much easier to remember than a whole script. You're not actors. Even if you are actors, you're not actors all the time. You don't always have a script. You don't always have words to memorize. But you should always be able to talk about whatever it is and still be a full expression of who you are. So you want to do that with numbers?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll just do, we'll do one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll just go up to 10 and have a conversation. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
10.
So what did you get from what we just said to each other? And I don't mean the content, but like, what is it that happened between us?
Just having fun, that's fine. Connecting.
Connecting. And connecting over, like, what kind of subject?
It was numbers, but it was more play.
Yeah. And I felt like maybe what we were talking about was some kind of, what it means to us to be.
Oh, I didn't realize I was having a real conversation.
Well, I was having a conversation.
Fun then.
But if you had fun, then that's,
Sorry, it's
the
been a
end
long
goal.
time. Improv.
That's fine. If you had fun, then that's enough, right? If I pull somebody out of a crowd who doesn't know how to do something, that's fine. The goal is to have fun at all times. So if you had fun, then I feel very successful. And I feel like we connected because you're like, oh yeah, I have some improv experience.